everybody. I am back again to share some more October daily fun pages and make some more pages. This time I have several what feels like little stories that I want to tell. I'm gonna start with the story about my daughter and Mr. Bones, and I even have a transparency of a skull that I found online. So I printed that out, and I left this like this so that way I could punch holes. And I also have a picture of her playing with Mr. Bones. This is just gonna be a 3x4 insert, and I will make a journaling card, and then I will just journal on there about the story about Mr. Bones. And then I'm gonna do a collage with my decor. And then finally, I'm gonna talk about TV shows and what we started watching. Those are the kids shows. And then I have one that my husband and I are watching. And so just little stories that I'm gonna bring together. So I hope you enjoy seeing these pages come together. And here I go. Okay, I am gonna start with Mr. Bones and punching that transparency, which is really hard to do. Punching transparency is very hard. I'm gonna make a 3x4 title card, and I'm going to use the Snickerdoodle alphabet from Everyday Explorers, and I'm gonna stamp out Mr. Bones. And I actually just received a new set of Halloween flares from ScrappinHappyStudio, and it had a little skeleton in it, so it was perfect for this little title card. I also have this circle, it's kind of like a pinwheel circle, and I'm going to use that to give the flare kind of a base to rest on. And then I will add a few little things to the close-up photo. So just trimming that little piece off, and then I'm going to move on to adding one of the black circles up top. I have a smaller one, and then I will move on to decorating the photo of my daughter playing. It's kind of a close-up photo of the skull, and then my daughter's kind of blurred in the background, and I liked that. And on the back side, I used the leftover piece of orange. You just saw me attach that to another close-up photo of Mr. Bones. And then I used a October Stories by the Month stamp for These Stories Matter. Totally did it crooked, but I just added Wicked Cute and then a fussy cut swirly arrow to kind of tie everything together. And then I'm just talking about the story about Mr. Bones, who is a chef, gets embarrassed with his bald head, and loves to make pizzas, and his favorite toy is pink and purple lava ponies. So I just had to share that because my daughter, as you can see, she was watching me make this page, and she really loved that transparency. She wanted to make sure that I wrote down the story correct. So that is the story of Mr. Bones, and I included all the details about his little story. And then I'm going to move on to the story about my decor. So putting it in the pockets, and then I will move on. This is my favorite shelf to decorate, and this year I actually had to kind of split the decorations with my daughter, and so I still got a good selection of stuff to decorate my shelf with. So I am just going to use this journaling card from Tracy Reed. I wind up cutting out that orange border because I felt like it didn't really go with this circle paper that I picked out, and I don't know, I just felt like the patterns weren't going to go. So I just trimmed it out, and I'm going to tilt that to the side, and I also am going to stamp out a haunted house, and then I am going to cut up a spider web so that way I can get it in between these two pieces, and then also at the bottom right. So I have Get Your Spooky on, and then I have that spider web, like I was saying, but I really wanted to be able to use it in two different places, so I used my pencil to trace what part I needed above the Get Your Spooky on, put that piece back, and then I have a piece to use down at the bottom, and that's what I'm going to do. And then you can't really tell that it's two different pieces of spider web. So once again, I just like to stretch my supplies and paper scraps as far as I can. I'm going to use a little pumpkin there, and then eventually I'll get out a Hey There Beautiful. I get that little phrase, and then I'm going to put that down. I also have the haunted house, which was a stamp, and I just fussy cut it out, and then I am going to painstakingly add some sequins. I don't know if a lot of people do this, but I just love to add sequins and in little clusters, and so I just get out my glue pen and just add in the clusters of sequins. So much fun to add sequins. I think between this project and December Daily, those are the projects I add sequins to the most. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the story of shows, and this is just the first round of shows. And when I was making this page, I noticed that the blue card with the house from In a Creative Bubble was a little short, and so I'm going to fix that in a minute. Right now, speaking of sequins, I am making a sequin pocket for that top. I don't have a fuse tool and I don't have a sewing machine to stitch it closed, so what I use is double-sided tape. And I'm also going to staple a die cut to the top to kind of cover up that double-sided tape. So first I staple the little die cut, make sure I got enough in that pocket, and then I'll add the double-sided tape. So for the card that was too short, I came up with something really clever. I took one of the tags from In a Creative Bubble, cut the gray piece, and then I fussy cut out the cat. So it's almost like I created a sidewalk with the cat walking down the sidewalk. Isn't that cool? I thought that was pretty clever. So that covered up that little spot that somehow it just didn't print the right side. The right size for this pocket. These pockets are Instack page protectors from Becky Higgins. Got them a long time ago. So this is where I added the double-sided tape, and then I'm ready to work on the back side. The back side, I have a close-up of my ice cream and then Scary Movie Night, and I'm gonna once again staple that just to give some continuity between the back and the front. And then I have 2 tickets. I'm gonna staple that and then use that as a spot to journal. I'll also add in a cat and a little bat, and then just move on to the next page. Right now we are watching anything and everything spooky that we can find, and family evenings where we watch TV is just the best. It's the best way to end the day. So the next page is going to be my 4x8 about my husband and I, our show together, Supernatural. I am obsessed with it. I think my husband is too. So I took this 4x6 card from In a Creative Bubble and I just duplicated it over and over again until I had a traveler's notebook sized paper with this skull print. And I decided to save some paper and just leave a gray mat to mat the photo on. And I pop dotted the photo that I found online, added After Dark, look on the spooky side, and then a little label to talk about the grown-up spooky show. And then I took another journaling card and I cut out the part that said bring on all things strange and spooky, because that's perfect for this show. It is so spooky and creepy and supernatural. So I just cut that out. Then I decided I wasn't going to directly hole punch it, so I needed a white piece of paper. And I thought I was going to use the dot pattern, but it clashed too much with the skulls. So I'm going to put that on the back, and that actually coordinated better with this orange paper that says October Stories. And I'm just adding in 2 photos of Legos in the windowsill and a new Lego idea book that I got for my kids at the library, and I'll just use some washi tape to do a flip up. There's a close-up of a bunch of Legos. I love the little Lego figurines and costumes. They're so cute. So I just added that, washi tape, called it done. Now I'm going to put everything back into the album, and then I noticed that the back of the striped paper needed something to rest on it because it's very busy pattern. So I just put a house, and then I found a banner sticker that said Boo to You, and I'm just going to add that in. Then these pages are all wrapped up. Okay, so that wraps up part 3, and I told 4 different stories, starting off with Mr. Bones and the transparency, and then just another 2 3x4 up, and then I was able to do some journaling on the back, and then I went into my favorite decoration shelf, and I just kind of pieced together the spider web so it'll fit here and there, and then painstakingly glued some sequins on. And then this one was just kind of a really simple filler page. I felt like just the stripes by itself was a little distracting. So I decided to add the house and then the little banner. And then for the first round of movies and TV, I made a little Instack page protector and then some more shows on the back and just talking about it and our treat. And then this is the grown-up adult spooky show. And I made this paper with a journaling card and I think it came out really awesome. And then on the back is just talking about Legos, and I used washi tape to just flip up. And I think these are Paislee Press digital stamps, I believe. And so yeah, just simple and done. So I hope you enjoyed seeing these 4 stories come together. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you want to continue to see my videos. All right, thanks so much guys. Have a great day.